western foothills of the Blue Mountains, the Mount Panorama circuit at Bathurst is the scene of a big Easter car racing attraction. In the pit area, drivers and mechanics are working on the racing cars shortly before the starting time of the main event, the Bathurst 100. The mechanics take special care adjusting gear ratios in the final tune-up. For this Bathurst circuit is more than just a test of speed and cornering. The tricky mountain course has an abundance of curves, and drivers like popular Bill Reynolds in his Orlando MG have a hard race ahead of them. In the next pit, another Sydney driver, Jack Myers, is hopeful of success after his breakdown at the recent Orange meeting. Beside Jack Myers is the unusual Sabercat number 58, which is raced by Ern Tadgell. Werner Grieve has his HWM Jaguar in perfect running order, but he'll be hard-pressed to catch the flying Cooper Climax, which was brought to Australia by Jack Brabham. Brabham raced in the Cooper to win the South Pacific Championship at Orange, and then sold the car to Victorian Len Lukey, who's one of the favourites for this event. Lukey was second in the Australian Grand Prix, while Paul Samuel, a youthful New South Wales driver, is making his mark in big car racing. The final preparations are made, and the cars are called out onto the starting grid. First comes the Maserati of Stan Jones, who holds numerical pride of place after his Grand Prix win at Longford in Tasmania. After Stan Jones comes number 5, the Lukey Cooper, and number 18, the big Maserati, driven by the crack New Zealander, Ross Jensen. Jensen is no stranger at Bathurst and could easily win this race. Among his main rivals are Arnold Glass in car 7, a Maserati, and Werner Grieve in his Jaguar. Number 56, the Reynolds MG, has a good chance against the smaller cars like this MGTC driven by Merv Williams. Cars are divided into 6 different classes according to engine capacity. And the biggest car of all is this Alfa Romeo number 19 driven by Ray Walmsley. This car has a capacity of almost 5,000 cc's, nearly twice as much as the next car, the WM, driven by Jack Myers. Car 28, the Dalroad Jaguar, is owned by Alwyn Rose, and behind him comes the individual Pratt Alta, number 8, driven by the famous small car driver, Clive Adams. Of the remaining entries, the most distinctive is this unusual SoCal number 41, steered by well-known racer Frank Waters. Last to come is Doug Whiteford in his fast Maserati. All eyes now turn to the assistant starter as he signals 1 minute to go. The cars move up to the starting grid, the crash helmets go on as the big moment draws near. Cranky motors are brought to life as the starter is almost ready to send the first of 34 cars away on their 26-lap race of 100 miles. The early leaders make the first left-hand turn at Hill Corner and then accelerate as they speed along Mountain Straight, a half-mile level stretch before reaching the right-hand turn at the base of the mountain. In the scramble for positions, one car shoots clear. It's the Cooper Climax number 10, driven by Alex Mildred. He leads the field through the cutting towards the top of the 600-foot climb. Once through the cutting, Mildred shows the way as the field moves around Skyline on the top half of the course. Behind him, it's a close race for second, with Lukey in 5 just in front of the bulk of the field. At Shell Tower, the leaders have gone through, as Scott, Myers, Grieve and Collison roar past in that order. They're starting to spread out, and back on the sweeping curve comes 62 John Schroeder and 8 Clive Adams. Past Shell Tower they go, and on towards the S's, where the curving trap drops 400 feet down to the start of Conrod Strait. where Mildren is moving at top speed. Past the flying quarter mile, and Mildren starts to brake as he nears the left-hand turn at Murray's Corner. We wait as Mildren brings the Cooper along pit straight, while Jones in 1 and Lukey in 5 are heading the Jensen Maserati. Lying in 5th place is Doug Whiteford in number 16. Following comes the slower cars, Lou Thomas ahead of the Tadgell Sabercat, then Cook 48, Griffiths 36 and Walters 41. Only the stragglers remain, and the big crowd keeps its attention focused on the last corner as the little Barclay heads Bill Reynolds, who seems to be having trouble. The field moves along pit straight to complete the first lap with 25 to go. As the middle group approaches Hell Corner, Alex Mildren is almost halfway down Mountain Straight. He's still well clear, but the next 4 cars are slowly bridging the gap. As they start to climb, Stan Jones in 1 was closing on Mildren. And back in the field, Arnold Glass has joined the leading group. But interest centres on Mildren and Jones as they speed around Skyline with half the second lap gone. Past Shell Tower, Mildren is still leading with Lukey just ahead of Jensen in 18. Then there's a gap of 4 seconds to the Whiteford Maserati, number 16. While Ayres passes Shell Tower, the tail end of the field is 2 miles away at Murray's. As this car limps slowly towards the pits, there's a great race developing as number 10, Mildren, leads Jones in 1, Lukey in 5 and Jensen in 18. They speed along pit straight, and then there's great excitement in the fight for the lead. At the pits, the Nota Ford of John Schroeder is held up for repairs, and the driver waits as the field, with Mildren in front, completes 2 more laps. Of the pacemakers, Whiteford in 16 is improving his position as Schroeder comes back into the race. The first major casualty is the Reynolds MG, and while he's at the pits, the lead changes and Ross Jensen goes to the front after Alex Mildren has flagged in for a minor adjustment to his engine cowling. Pit crews signal 5 laps gone as the Jensen Maserati roars along the straight to approach Hell Corner ahead of Jones. In 4th place is Lukey, just behind Whiteford over on the left, while Strawn and Cook represent 2 of the lap cars. Up to the cutting where Jensen goes through. Jones has dropped back, and 5 seconds tick by before the appearance of the second car, the Lukey Bristol. After Frank Walters passes through, Alex Mildren is in pursuit of the leaders again. And just behind him, McClellan in 67 makes way for Stan Jones, whose spluttering motor has come to life. While some of the big cars are dropping out, the tiny Barclay is still chugging along with a win in the under 500 class a certainty. He's almost 3 laps behind as Griffiths at 36 is about to be passed by Jensen. This is the last appearance of Stan Jones in number 1 because his Maserati broke down at the end of the 6th lap. For the next 20 minutes, the order remains the same, and we rejoin the field approaching the cutting with Ross Jensen keeping his Maserati comfortably in front of Len Lukey's Cooper Climax. Half the race is over, and Doug Whiteford in 16 is the only other driver within striking distance of the leader. As Werner Grieve comes through the cutting, the leading car, the Jensen Maserati, is at Shell Tower, more than a lap ahead. The New Zealander is handling the course well as he follows the now familiar path down to the S's. Behind comes Len Lukey, who's still holding on to second place. After Lukey, the Whiteford Maserati is third, and there's a big group of lapped cars going through before the appearance of the 4th car, which is Mildren's Cooper Climax. Then comes Werner Grieve, who's still in the first 7. and following on are the stragglers. Laps later, it's down to Conrod Straight, where the leader has passed the flying quarter mile to move into Murray's Corner with 8 laps to go. Jensen has now opened up a good lead on his rivals. There's a change in second place as Doug Whiteford takes his Maserati round Murray's Corner 20 seconds behind Jensen. Whiteford was able to pass Len Lukey, and the Victorian is now in 3rd place, while Jack Myers in car 3 is in 5th place, a lap behind. The little Barclay, driven by Bill Clark, is having some engine trouble. And the driver pulls his car over to allow the 4th car, the glass Maserati, to overtake. The race is nearing the end, and interest centres on the leading cars as they move round the course on the 23rd lap. Approaching the cutting, the leaders have the track to themselves, and it appears that Jensen and Whiteford who will be 1st and 2nd, with Lukey 3rd. As they travel through the cutting, the crowd at the S's is waiting to see the 3 numbers, 18, 16 and 5. Of Arnold Glass in car 7 is worth mentioning. He's lying 4th, and his effort has gone almost unnoticed in the excitement of the race for the lead. 3 laps to go, and the New Zealander in his Maserati comes round Murray's Corner with the big race in his keeping. Shortly afterwards, the Whiteford Maserati appears, but the crowd is shocked to see him slowing down. This is a tragedy for Doug Whiteford, and Len Lukey has now moved to take 2nd place again, because it's now obvious that the unfortunate Whiteford is out of the race. Whiteford's breakdown allows the consistent Arnold Glass to move into 3rd place. Glass completes Murray's Corner, the spectators crowd round Hell Corner to see Ross Jensen set off on his last lap. Back at Murray's Corner, Jack Myers completes his 24th lap, and he's now in 4th place. Around on the S's, Jensen has only 2 miles to go to win the race. He's more than a lap ahead of car 19, Ray Walmsley's Alfa Romeo, which is in 5th place. While the Jaguar of Werner Grieve is halfway round its 25th lap, the New Zealand champion Ross Jensen is approaching Murray's Corner. Into pit straight for the last time, and Ross Jensen is flagged down as the dejected Doug Whiteford drags his sick Maserati towards the pits. Next to approach the judge is car number 5, the Lukey Bristol. After Lukey, there's a long gap, while the crowd waits for the 3rd place getter, Arnold Glass, in car 7. Ross Jensen averaged over 80 miles an hour throughout the 26 laps, and he also recorded fastest lap time. His winning time was 45 seconds better than Len Lukey, the 2nd place getter, who finished a minute ahead of Arnold Glass. A laurel wreath for Ross Jensen of New Zealand for his victory in the Bathurst 100.
So that race won at more than 130 kilometres an hour average. They were really travelling.